The truth about breaking the cycle that most people don't talk about. And in particular, there are three aspects to breaking the cycle that are not commonly discussed. And so, what I see is when people start this cycle breaking journey, is that it's one of these three things that's going to knock them off kilter. So, we'll just dive right in. The first one is that it is going to be profoundly uncomfortable. What I often hear from people is, well, if this was the right action for me to be taking, if this is what I was supposed to be doing, it would be easier. The truth is that growth, we are not wired for growth. We are not wired for change. We're wired to stay the same. And because pain is our greatest catalyst for change, it's usually through challenges and our quote unquote failures that we learn things the fastest. So if you think back to a kid learning how to walk, they fall over so many times, right? Thousands of times probably in their journey of learning how to walk. But every time they fall over, their body learns something else about how to keep them balanced. And so when we start this journal of cycle breaking, there is going to be challenges, there is going to be mistakes and failures that you experience. And it's not because you're on the wrong path, it's because that's how you learn, right? I often hear people say things like, well, I just want to be a better listener. Well, to be a better listener, you're going to be put in situations where you have to listen better, because there will be consequences to not listening, right? And that's ultimately how you learn how to be a better listener. For a long time, I kept saying, I want to have more patience. I'm not a very patient person. I really want to develop patience. And I didn't realize I was being put in all these challenging situations where I had to be patient. Even this year, gardening, I'd like plant seeds and I'd go out a couple days later and be like, I planted these so long ago. And then I'd look at the calendar and realize like, oh no, I planted these seeds like not even a week ago. And it takes like anywhere between 10 to 14 days for these seeds to germinate. So no wonder I'm not seeing anything above the surface yet. Things are happening below the ground. So we're going to be put into situations that make us feel uncomfortable, that challenge us and stretch us. You go to the gym and you start lifting weights to get stronger. That's not going to be comfortable. When Sid started cycling last year, a little over a year ago, he swore he went for like a 5-mile ride and he was like, I researched something and it told me that I only need to be on my bike like 10 minutes a day until I build my stamina. But that wasn't what got him doing, 50, 60-mile rides by the end of summer. It was that he was, going out with our neighbor who was like, okay, well, we're going to do this 30-mile route that's got a lot of hills on it. And Sid could barely make it up the hills initially, but now he's stronger and he's better. I'm training for a 5K in the fall. I haven't run in like 5 years. And so it's uncomfortable, but it's through the discomfort that we get better and stronger. So I want you to know this so that you don't have the discomfort and then just say, oh, well, this isn't what's meant to be for me, because I hear that a lot from people, more than you would think. The second piece is that you're going to feel like the black sheep, especially if you are breaking cycles within your family. Within my family, there is a huge alcohol culture. I mean, in Alberta, where I'm from in general, there's a huge alcohol culture. You could even say within, North America, there's a huge alcohol culture. And so the last time that I was home, I was actually doing 75 hard, and so I wasn't drinking for 75 days. And my family just thought it was so weird. Like, what do you mean you're not drinking? Like, come on. And they just kept trying to like put my favorite drink in front of me, and I was like, I'm not drinking. I don't drink at all anymore. And so again, I would be considered very weird in my family right now. And that's okay. You are going to be You're going to feel like you're the cycle breaker. And just give me a 1 in the comments if you can still hear me. I think our Wi-Fi is being a little bit wonky this morning, but I am still here. All right, so you might feel like you're the black sheep. You might feel like you're the outsider or the outcast. And there might be some people, and this kind of fishtails into the third thing, is that there may be people who leave your life when you break these cycles because your change, your growth makes them profoundly uncomfortable, especially if you start challenging norms within a family. So when Sid started, setting boundaries in his family, saying this behavior is not okay, this is not right, some of his family members just stopped talking to us. And it's because you're challenging cycles, you're challenging patterns that have been so deeply ingrained. And again, remember, we're not wired for change. So you're making the decision to step outside of your comfort zone and say, I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to live life differently. But other people have not made that decision. And so when you start changing and saying, hey, I'm not playing this game anymore, that will make other people uncomfortable. As you shine your light brighter and brighter, yes, you're going to be lighting the path for other people to follow, but also you're going to be highlighting where other people have been playing small, because with more light means that we highlight more shadows. And so just keep in mind that there is an element of grieving and letting go of relationships. Now, some of those relationships might come back around. There are people who I've let go of from the past, friends, family members who came back around and were like, hey, you know what? I just wasn't ready for the change and that growth at that time. That's cool. I have zero judgment of them. But then some of them might be a little bit more permanent. And in the moment when we're letting go, we never know. So we have to be willing to release what no longer serves us, the relationships, the people, the patterns that no longer serve us, under the assumption that those people might not come back at all, but then recognize that, if they do come back, that's an added bonus. So we can hope that they come back, but be prepared that they might not. So those are 3 things that I wanted you to know about the cycle breaking journey, because so many people get stuck in, well, I don't want to lose this friendship, so I better just stop. Or these people are now, upset with me. I feel like the outsider in my family, so I better just stop. And the thing to do is to keep moving forward. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means you're leading from the front of the pack. And if you know anything about birds flying in the V, it's the bird at the front who has the exhausting job of breaking the breaking through the wind, basically. And so the person at the front of the pack has the hardest job, but it's also the most rewarding.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Cycle Breakers. This channel is dedicated to giving you the tools that you need to clear out the blocks holding you back so you can live the life that you desire. Now, before you go, as our special gift to you, we have our 7-day nervous system reset. These are the exact exercises that I give all of our clients in every single one of our programs to help them regulate their nervous system, to make that inner work and clearing out those mental blocks so much easier. The best part, it's absolutely free. Just click on the link in the description below and you'll get instant access.